Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naraseva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasya Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevya Bhagavitmasya Bhakti Bhagavati Naisiki Krishna Sadama Bhagavate Ramaganana Visa
Kalau Nasta Krishamesha
Purnakadanavita Sarvedanta Swami
Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate
Sarasavatasya Nanasya Krishna Soya Bhagavata Visarvasraya Pratishtaya Pratikshaya Namaskaya Premaya Bhagavata Krishna Sriyanga Tathakaya Krishna Srimad Bhagavatam Pran Ki Jai. This Saturday Bhagavatam class was May 3rd, was it?
Yes.
Yes.
May 3rd, 2025, we're starting a new canto, 4th canto. And we'll hear about different personalities that are famous progenitors and story of Shiva and his wife getting insulted by her father, which is Daksha. Daksha insulted Sati and Sati gave her life. And a lot about, there's a lot of explanation here about mentality. The mentality of a woman, the mentality of a wife, and the instructions of a husband. There's a lot about behavior and mentality and its material attachment here. It's chapter 2 and 3 especially. And chapter 2 is, what's the title? Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is titled Daksha insults Shiva, and chapter 3 is Shiva warns Sati, and chapter 4 is Sati gives up her body, and chapter 5 is the death of Sati's father Daksha. Chapter 6 is Devatas approach Shiva to cool him down. Chapter 7 they start the sacrifice again. So for 103 pages it's all about a woman. The woman is Sati. So a very interesting comment. So when you read these descriptions of different male personalities and female personalities in Bhagavatam, what are you supposed to learn? Behavior. But that's just, that's true, that's what's being depicted here because it's called stories, Charitas, the life's teachings and stories of different avatars and personalities and husbands and wives and kings and queens and rishis, even devatas like Shiva and Parvati, Brahma, Indra, all different personalities. But the idea is it's supposed to be a study of prema. The Bhagavatam is a book about Braja Prema, about Radha Krishna's Prema. So what you see in Sati, we'll get to that, but when this female personality comes on the scene, when you read about Sati, the wife of Shiva, how is she like Radharani, how is she not like Radharani? So what is the similarity, what is the difference? Because all these personalities are different degrees of the definition of pure bhakti, uttam bhakti. So we can see where Sati, the wife of Shiva, is really hung up and attached to her body, and attached to her family, and attached to social respect and all these kind of things. And Radharani is not attached to any of that. So very quite opposite. She's only attached to Krishna and his loving service. And Parvati was more attached to society. Sati or Parvati was more attached to family acceptance and what do other people think about me, and all the other Devis of heaven are going, why can't I go? They're all dressed up. Radharani, when she goes out to Krishna, to meet Krishna, she's not even dressed. Her chadar is wrapped around her waist, her earrings, or one earring's on, or one ankle bell's on. She's not even half dressed. And Parvati, Sati was noticing all the Devis flying by her palace, all decked out and dressed up very attractively, and she got excited to dress up like most women. But Radharani, she's just excited to offer her body to Krishna and to love and serve him. Although she wants to look beautiful also, but that's not the primary thing. A primary thing for Shiva's wife was herself, not Shiva. Shiva was telling her not to go, and she went anyway. So Radharani, she was told not to go by her husband, and she went anyway. So Radharani was also told not to go by her superiors, but she went anyway. So what's the difference in motivation? What's the difference in mentality that you have to examine? Why did Radharani ignore her superiors, run out to meet Krishna? And why did Sati ignore her superior, her guru, Pati, Shiva, and run out to meet her relatives, her father, her sisters? Many of her sisters were there, and all their husbands. So you compare, you can see quite a different motivation. So it's not the action that you do, it's what's the motivating factor, what's the mentality, what's the bhav behind the action. So these are the things we should be sensitive to when we read the Bhagavatam. What's the mentality, what's the bhav, what's the desire, what's the motivation of the action. Who is it being done for? Why are you doing it? So let's get started. Chapter 1 of Canto 4. Oh, Krishna, go in now. So this chapter describes all kinds of personalities, who their husbands and wives were, and it's really complicated. Different personalities, how they came about, who their mother and fathers are. It's all about dynasties, who gave birth to who, and this and that. It's like a genealogical family timetable. It explains how Anasuya, Atri Muni, a great rishi, and his wife Anasuya gave birth to 3 children. And each of those children was an avatar of Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. One son of Atri Muni and, what's her name? Anasuya was Dattatreya. Who's Dattatreya? Dattatreya is Vishnu. Another son was Soma. Who's Soma? Rama is Soma. And one is Sarvaswamuni. He's an avatar of Shiva. That's why he gets a little angry. He got angry at Ambarish. They were all both living in Mathura, but they were neighbors. Sometimes you get angry with your neighbor. Ambarish was living in Mathura. He came to Mathura from Madhya Pradesh every Ekadasi and Dwadasi to spend in Mathura. And Rasmani was living across the river from Mathura, from Vishram Ghat. He had an ashram there. It's called the Durga Vasamuni's ashram. You can visit there today. We don't usually go there because we don't like the Vasamuni. But we can go there sometime. Because the gopis went there and fed him Shapan Bhog, and he said he only ate grass. Because ultimately all the Bhog is a transformation of grass. Grass becomes wheat, grass becomes hollow, grass becomes pakoras, chana. So this way, going to sleep? Good night. So that's Dravasi. He said, I just eat grass. You always couldn't believe that, but so that description is there. That these three avatars of Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma became children of Atreya Muni and Anasuya Devi. And so they were all there. That's nice. So Atri Rishi was saying, "Why you three guys came here?" I was only meditating on Vishnu. I got 3 for 1, price for 1. Special supermarket sale. I was only meditating Vishnu, and Brahma came along and Shiva came along. He said in verse 28, my mind was fixed on one Bhagavan. Why you three guys came here? I'm bewildered. So Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu smiled and spoke to him. He said, the thing is like this. We're all one. So then he said, don't worry about it, but just see us as one. Well, Atri and Anasuya were watching. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva left. From Brahma, Soma came, from Vishnu, Dattatreya appeared, and a portion of Shiva, Amsha of Shiva, became Dravasa. So that's a good thing. And then we hear about the appearance of Narayana Rishi. Narayana Rishi is described here in verse 51, 52. They're the sons of Murti. Some Murti is a form of Shuddha Sattva. That's pretty cool. So these sages, Nara became Arjuna and Narayan became Krishna. Or they are eternally that way. But Narayana Rishi stay in Himalayas at Badrika Ashram, meditating and doing tapasya to benefit, to help India beat up Pakistan. If they go to war. Arjuna and Narayana Rishi will be on the side of India. So we don't have anything to fear. So 2 portions of the Lord entered Krishna and Balaram, as described in verse 59. And all kinds of stuff going on. So now chapter 2. Now we get into all psychology. What makes women tick? How do women think? What they desire? They like to party. They like to get dressed up. They like social events. They like to chit-chat, meet all kinds of girls and talk all kinds of nonsense. So Shiva didn't want anything to do with it. He's a yogi. And he said, your father insults me. Your father Daksha insults me. He doesn't like me. He's envious of me. And so it's not good to go somewhere where you're not liked. So I don't want you to go there. She said, I'm going. My sister's there. It's going to be a big party. I have all these new dresses. I have to show them off. So that chapter talks about that. What happened when Daksha came into the assembly? He called a big yajna. He invited all the devas for the yajna. Brahma Rishis, Devatas, and Agni Devatas. Everybody stood up to greet him except Brahma and Shiva. So he didn't have any problem with Brahma not paying respect, but he had a problem with Shiva. Why?
Because he was his relative and he was...
He's his son-in-law,
Yes.
and the father is bigger than the son. And he was a big Prajapati, he was a big progenitor, he was a big propagator of humanity throughout the universe. So he should have the idea he's junior to his father-in-law. But he said, but why was Shiva didn't show respect to him? Because you all read the chapters in your homework, right?
He was in Samadhi.
He was in Samadhi, meditating on what?
On Vishnu.
On Vishnu. That's pretty cool.
And so he was thinking that just by pay respect to Vishnu, he was also pay respect to...
That's a good point. You pick that up. Shiva was surprised that Daksha was angry and accused her of being disrespectful because Shiva was thinking, I was absorbed in meditating on the origin of everything. The origin of Daksha, the origin of me, the origin of everything in creation. Hamsarasya Prabhupada is the Bhagavan Vishnu, so why should Daksha take issue with that, since I was meditating on the origin of everything and everyone, including Daksha and myself. Most of the assembly was not happy with Daksha's anger, but he got angry and he left the place, verse 19. So let's see what Prabhupada says. Hear what Daksha was thinking. Everyone here is stupid. Everyone here is stupid. He got angry. I'm not going to stay in this assembly with all these irreligious, stupid people. Everyone in the assembly said, cool down, man, relax. Don't be angry. Please come back. He was gone. Slammed the door. That's how it usually goes. So he's angry. They have to make sure they make some noise, you know. They make some noise, whoa, whoa. Okay. Cool down. See it time and time again for the beginning of creation. So Nandishwara Shiva, his followers, became angry. Why? Because their Lord was insulted. Prabhupada gives a nice commentary on this verse. 19 of chapter 2, 4th Canto. That Daksha, man, he's gonna get in trouble. His head is not working right. Maitreya continues speaking to Vidura. In spite of the requests of all the members of the assembly of sacrifice, Daksha in great anger cursed Lord Shiva and left the assembly and went home. Prabhupada's commentary. Anger is so detrimental that even a great personality like Daksha became angry and left the arena where Brahma and great sages were present. All of them begged him not to go, but he was infuriated and gone crazy with anger. He was puffed up. Sir, puffed up. That was right for the founder of Charya. You're puffed up. I remember Shiji saying that one time. He's puffed up. He thought that no one was greater than him. It appears that all the members, including Brahma, asked him not to be angry, don't leave. But in spite of all these requests, he left. This is the effect of anger. You go crazy. Gita advises, therefore, that one should control lust, anger, and greed. When one becomes great anger, it makes the person crazy. But unfortunately, he was attacked by anger. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised we should be very careful not to offend Vaishnavas. He compared Vaishnava Bharat to a mad elephant. A mad elephant can do anything horrible, and a mad Vaishnava can perform any abominable action. Watch out. Don't become mad. Too mad. A little mad is okay. I can give you some leeway. Don't want to say don't become mad. Don't want to limit your movement. Okay, let's see what else happened here. Anyway, all kinds of, everybody got cursed and this and that. Now chapter 3.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I don't understand why in the commentaries written.
What verse?
All the verses where Daksha is insulting Shiva. Is written like this. This, for example, in verse 11.
Verse 11. I just say it. Okay, verse 11.
In this verse, his criticism is clear. However, the words can.
Yeah, that's the nature of Sanskrit. That's everywhere in the Bhagavatam. When Shishupala is insulting Krishna in 10th canto, if you're a Sanskrit Pandit, you can take the Sanskrit and make the opposite meaning of every word. So all of it, as far as Daksha is concerned, it was a curse. But Vishnu is taking it to be praised. That's the answer. That's what you're going to ask about? It's just the nature of Sanskrit. One word can be taken to mean hot or cold. It depends on the context, it depends on the verb, it depends on how you want to say it. I use the verse, we quote that, Satyanarayana quote that verse from Gita. No. Manmana Mayaji. Aji. Aji means offer me. Anyone who offers me, me. What's the Patra Pusham? No, it's not it. Yeah, Aji means goat. So we always think we become a goat. Become my goat. But it's mom, Aji, not Aji, it's Mamaji. It means think of me. But he gave an explanation, Sandarbha, the essential truth was living essential truth. You bring it up this way, it means you're goat. So Sanskrit is like that. So Vishnu wants to give Daksha the benefit of the doubt. Bhagavatam is presenting what Srimad is describing to Vidura that Daksha was insulting what she was, because that's the context of the Leela. But just because of Shiva being a Vaishnava, another Vaishnava doesn't want to hear a Vaishnava criticized. So Vishnu changed it all around to say that Daksha was glorifying a Vaishnava Shiva, Vaishnava Yuta Shambhu. But the fact of the story is, it's not. Just like the Bhagavatam says, Krishna left Vrindavan, never came back. But the Goswamis don't like that idea. So in the commentaries of San Goswami on 10th Canto, Jiva Goswami on the 10th Canto, they call other Puranas that say he came back after he killed Dantavakra in Mathura. He came back and spent 2 months in Vrindavan. But the Bhagavatam doesn't say that. So the commentators write their own Bhagavatam. That's why he said, well, we got a term in Sanskrit, the poet makes his own world. We spoke it before. Kavitam Jagat or something like that. The poet creates his own world. So the Kaviraj means the poet, the commentator. The commentator on Bhagavatam creates his own world. Bhagavatam is saying Daksha is insulting Shiva. Vishnu's commentary is taking every insult and saying it's a glorification. So when I say you're a dirty dog, actually it means it's a glorification. See, different angle. I'm not saying a dirty dog. And say you're a great saintly person. Just like in modern language, somebody says you're bad, means you're good. What do you think that guy's bad? At least he's a really cool guy. But you say he's bad. Yeah, so the opposite word says bad would be he's good. So it's very tricky language, context and who's speaking to who, and many things are required to understand language and communication. So this chapter 3, Shiva tells his wives not to go. And it's the biggest party in the universe. All the Brahma Rishis, all the Deva Rishis, all the Pishis, Devatas are there with their wives. And they're all dressed up. Check it out, verse 5 through 7. Fine cloth, attractive earrings, necklaces, flying in airplanes. And she's seeing them all go by, all decked out. She said, wow, look at that, I gotta get my new dress. And another reason she said in verse 9, she said, all my sisters are going to be there. And my father and mother are going to give us presents. We're going to get cloth and ornaments. In the commentary. So come on, I want to go. I want to get some new saris and ornaments and jewelry. You know, it sounds like typical, just typical woman, you know. Who's going to turn down gifts? So then she was, why do you want to go there? Just to get gifts? She said, no, I want to see my mother. She really loves me. And then she says in verse 11, come on, I'm a woman. I don't know the truth about you, but I desire to see my birthplace. I'm not the only one like this. All the other women are there. So come on, take me. He's not too impressed. She's really whining. Wah, wah. Shiva says, we have not been invited. How can we go? Then she says, it's that you don't need an invitation to go to your father's house. Then she says, okay, you don't want to go, you're my husband, but I'm half your body. She's a very clever woman. So you accept me as half your body, so this half of your body wants to go. So you should agree with this. Agree with this half of your body to take me. She replied with a smile. What do you, come on. A nice commentary, verse 15, check it out. So it says that the sharp words and criticism of the father of Sati Daksha pierced Shiva's heart. But how can Shiva get affected? Because he's free. The answer is because he's connected to Tamagun. Sometimes lamentation, illusion, attachment manifest in him. So let's compare Shiva to Krishna. Krishna is always self-satisfied like Lord Shiva, but because he has prema, he shows lamentation, illusion, attachment, hatred in relation to Yashoda and the gopis, etc. It covers his Aishwarya. But Shiva also shows lamentation, attachment, and hatred, but they're a result of tamagun, not prema. And because of their produced from tamagun, Shiva experiences grief. But in Krishna, these moods arise from prema. His lamentation, illusion, attachment, hatred are manifest from prema. So always filled with bliss. So Krishna has blissful hatred and blissful lamentation and blissful attachment. But Shiva gets affected. Very interesting. Very interesting commentary. Okay, let's go on. What's going to happen? Is she going to go or not go?
Go.
That's the way it works out. Women always get their way. No matter what you say, they'll do it their way. One means yes. Remember I said, you want peace of the one, say yes. Whatever you say yes. No problem. Everything will work out. Give me money, yes. Find your house, yes. Give me your car, yes. Get another job, yes. I'm leaving, yes. I mean, no, don't go. I love you. Hey, you're not supposed to say yes now. That's the time to say no. Give me money, yes. Give me your car, yes. Give me your house, yes. I'm leaving. Yes. You say, no, don't leave. I need you, I love you. So look what happens to Shiva, verse number 20. He said, oh, beautiful-eyed wife, it is clear you're the favorite of your father. But my opinion is that your father will not respect you because he doesn't like me. You're related to me. He's really glorifying her, trying to sway her mind. First you got beautiful eyes, then he said you got a thin waist. Which means you're beautiful. Now verse 23. This is the most important verse in the chapter. Prabhupada quotes this verse many times. Sattvam Vishudam Vasudeva Shabditam Yayite Chatra Pramana Pavrita Sattve Chatasmin Bhagavan Vasudeva Yadhokshajo Me Namasa Vidiyate. The pure Antakaran, mind, intelligence, and ego is called Vasudeva. Because there Bhagavan appears without coverings. In that pure mind intelligence, I worship Vasudeva, who is beyond the material senses, by offering respects. So he describes the word for word meaning. Very important verse. Then Shiva concludes chapter 3 by saying, you should not go there, and you should not see or envy his father Daksha, and you should not see his followers. Your father scolded me with harsh words when I was at his last yajna, although I was innocent. If you ignore my words and go, you will get misfortune. When a respectful person is humiliated by a relative, the humiliation will ultimately result in death. Commentary. When a respectable person is humiliated in some place, the humiliation will result in the death of the offender. That's pretty heavy reaction. So Shiva, what quality is he showing? Shri Kalagya, seeing the past, present, and future. When we go to our friendly astrologer and ask him or her, can you tell me about the future? So you think Shiva doesn't know the future? He said, listen, wifey, listen, my dear Sati, don't go. You'll die there. Because dishonor is worse than death. What's the verse from Gita? Krishna tells Arjuna, when I was been honored, death is more painful than, dishonor is more painful than death.
First chapter.
Yeah, I can't remember. Must be Aman or something. Aman to son. Man means honor. So she was saying, "Are we dishonored and someone's going to die there? Who's going to die there?" The father and the daughter. The father and the daughter are both going to die. The father's going to die because he insulted Shiva, and the wife dies because her husband, because insult is worse than death. So she couldn't tolerate the insult of her husband. She didn't want to live anymore being connected with Daksha, so she gives up her body in chapter 4. So what do we learn from this chapter 3? We learn the negative result of material attachment. Sati is such an exalted personality. She's a wife of Lord Shiva, but she's a very ordinary woman in terms of family attachment and attachment to recognition and attachment to womanly nature. It's called Sri Dharma. Sri Dharma means the Dharma of a woman, means the activities and qualities of a woman. Identifying as a female gender means to dress up, to desire, want gifts, and nice clothing and joy, and want to dress up and go to social functions. She was more attached to that than following her husband. So you compare this to Radharani. Radharani doesn't care about any of these things. She has no attachment to Sri Dharma or Varna Dharma, name, fame, or anything. She's only attached to the happiness of Krishna. She'll do anything to please Krishna. So you see, even when you get so close to Krishna in Dwarka Leela, the queens of Dwarka, they're very attached. When Krishna killed, when Krishna married Rukmini, her brother Rupi wanted Rukmini to marry Shishupal. So when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini from the Swayamvar marriage ceremony, Rukmini chased Krishna and Krishna got away. And Rukmini went to do austerity. He said, I'm going to go kill Krishna and bring my sister back. So Krishna had a fight with Rukmini. He was going to kill him. And Rukmini, because Rukmini is attached to her brother Rukmini, she said, don't kill him. What will people say? After all, he's my brother. And Balaram was telling him to kill him. So Krishna, they insulted him, took away his honor by chopping his beard, funny away his hair, and funny away with his sword. So this shows that Rukmini, who was so much close to Radharani's love, was attached to her family and her name and fame, that she defended her brother against the wishes of her husband, Dragadish, who had all rights to kill him. So the love of the queens of Dwarka is called what? You guys are so forgetful. Samanja Sarati. Samanja Sarati means, I love you, you love me. Kind of give and take. I love you, but I take something also. Not much, but I take something in return. And also attached to Dharma. But Samartarati, artha means benefit. Benefit. All, some means all. All the benefit is for you. This is the Gopis' love, Radharani's love. It's called Samartha. All the art, all the benefit, all the result, all the goodness, all the positiveness of love is for you. I don't care. Any calculation, anything for me doesn't matter. Sri Rukmini is so exalted, such a great personality. She still has attachment. So this is the lesson we learn in Bhagavatam. Fourth canto, we're already being reminded of the elevation and purity of the pure bhakti of Radharani compared to Sati. So chapter 4 I haven't read. What time is it?
It is 4, 3:57.
3:57. Okay, thank you. So next week we should read 4, 5, and 6. That's it for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.